beautiful souls. So today I want to talk about something that I feel like is one of the biggest struggles of our society right now, and I would say for the past even centuries, and that is apathy. And I wanted to speak from my experience, from all the people I've met, from the point of all the teachings that I read about and that resonated with me. So definitely don't take this as a objective truth or some health or psychological advice, because I'm not a professional in those fields. Definitely, if you're struggling a lot, see a professional. This is just my opinion. Okay, so what is apathy? Some of you may associate it with more of a just neutral state, perhaps, a state where you're just not bothered by anything. It can also be mistaken with acceptance, but definitely there's a huge difference between those. Apathy is one of the lowest vibrations. It's among the anger, pride. We would call them perhaps sins in other religions like Christianity. And already at the start, I want to put pressure that I'm not demonizing any states, any levels of consciousness. I think they all have their place in this development of our souls, but I also believe that our goal on this earth is to evolve and to change through those states and go up and up and up. And I think it's beneficial to be at those lower states if you need to at the moment, but at the same time I think the main goal of this existence is to go into this direction of higher vibrational frequencies. And I'm very happy to see more information out there right now, more discussion about this, because it used to be a very undercover topic. According to most teachings, apathy means essentially the giving up on life. So it doesn't have to mean that you just, giving up on life can mean also just not participating as actively in it, not pursuing yourself, not evolving, not being interested in expanding your knowledge, expanding your skills. Of course, in some cases it does mean ending things, but not always. Sometimes people just rest in this state of apathy for their whole life, for literally decades. I know people that are 80 years old and they've lived their whole life mostly in apathy, and they don't even know about it. Like, that's the saddest thing in it, that those people aren't even conscious of it. And often, even if you try to light the light of consciousness on them, they will not listen, because it's such a vast topic for them that they can't even feel aligned with it. They can't understand it from their point of view, because in their mind, life is happening to them, not for them. And if you're one of these people that feels such a deep resonance with this victim mentality, I totally understand it. I've been there too. I've had states of apathy in my life, and I'm just here to tell you that there is a way out. You're not gonna be in this state forever. And basically, because those people don't pay attention to their life, they don't feel any need to expand themselves. They basically neglect themselves, they neglect others around them, and it causes pain to others. They sometimes, even if they hurt themselves, then that causes more pain, and more karma gathers for them, because other people in their life are in pain now, even though they aren't even there anymore. So they will go into their next life with all this bad karma gathered, and now they will attract an event, or they even agreed to an event happening in this life, so this karma is paid. So they will get hurt by someone very badly, sometimes even, solely because they chose to neglect themselves in the past life. So the consequences of this are very severe. And I believe that we need to have a lot of compassion for those people that choose to live like this. Because essentially it's all a choice, okay? You are choosing this path. Perhaps you chose this path even before you came to this earth. So life isn't happening to you, honey. And basically my problem, for example, with science is that it enhances this belief that, okay, you can be in apathy, you can literally do nothing with yourself your whole life, and then you're gonna disappear like nothing ever happened, okay? And there's no consequences to this. So I think that's very dangerous for those individuals, and it's very dangerous for our development as beings to believe that there's nothing after this, right? So you just disappear, nothing that you did has any repercussions, and also you struggle to make conscious decisions in this state. You hate taking responsibilities for things, so you will just try to always stay in this in between, like not taking any side, not saying something that someone may not like, not angering anyone. You're so scared of people that have strong emotions, and you just want to disappear and hide whenever something remotely upsetting happens because your psyche can't handle it. So they basically can become parasites on other people. They can become those black hole beings that will just leech on others because they are so low on energy. In the Hawkins graph, you can see how low apathy is and how little energy it has. So we as beings crave to have this energy. We need energy to function. So apathic people also need it, but they don't have it within them. They can't unlock it because they're so apathic. And so they usually try to find someone that they can attach themselves to, so they don't need to produce this energy, so they don't need to expand and evolve in order to sustain themselves. And this can be spiritual, emotional, psychological, financial. In all ways they can leech off people. And it's not to demonize them, again, it's their limitation, and sometimes we have to see it for what it is and not pretend that nothing is happening. I'm a strong believer in the statement that life only offers you challenges that you can overcome. And maybe some of you will say, okay, well, he didn't make it, so he didn't have the strength to overcome it. No, he chose this. He chose to have this challenge, and then he chose to not overcome it. It's not that he couldn't, it's that he chose not to. You can choose to fight through it, because we as humans, we as beings, as these powerful eternal souls, we can overcome literally anything. Our bodies can adjust to anything, and we can get used to anything. There's such crazy things that people are living with. There are crazy things that people are accepting on a daily basis. And I'm not saying you need to accept those things. I'm saying that you can overcome anything, and power is so enchanted within you. So apathy often manifests through people becoming homeless, depressed, addicted. Addictions are one of the main ways that people cope with apathy and difficult emotions. Also, abuse victims often go into apathy because they just can't handle the abuse and the effects it has on them. A lot of people also go into it from the resentment. They feel like life is hopeless. They feel like life is doing awful things to them, and so they rather hide and cave because they don't have the energy and the strength to face it. And this lack of will to participate actively in life causes people to gradually end themselves. So the main phrase that people in apathy use and rest in is "I can't." So they inherently believe that they are unable to do anything with their life, that they're unable to change, they're unable to bring positive changes into their life and improve it. So they just stay in the state that they're in and use these statements as excuses to not improve. Often this mentality is literally inherited generation by generation from family. So often I see whole families, siblings, parents stuck in apathy where they feel like they can't move forward. They often all struggle with financial debts that they don't pay off. They struggle with their jobs. They hate their jobs, but they stay in them because it's comfortable. They hate their partners. They don't get along with their partners, or they are even abused by them, but they won't act on it. And then they teach their children that it has to be like this, that they can't do anything, that sometimes things just happen to you and there's nothing you can do. And that is so dangerous because it's literally the opposite. You can change everything. There are people that dug themselves up from the lowest of levels in society. And then there appears a never ending feedback loop where your belief that life will throw bad events your way, that there's no hope, that life is hopeless, that life is sad and tragic, those beliefs cause you to manifest and to attract those events to happen. Something I've also been observing recently is how many unpassionate people there are in this world. Literally, I meet so many unpassionate people on the daily basis. Most of people don't have any deep passions that they love to their core and that they can talk about for hours. And that's very tragic in my opinion, because there's so much to this world that you can explore, that you can learn. And I meet them so often and I literally have nothing to talk about with them because they don't show interest in anything. They don't show interest in the other person even that they're talking to. So the first step is stop saying life is doing this to me, I can't do this. Instead say, how can I do this? How can I achieve it? How can I fix this situation? And start answering those questions, because this is the first step that you can take to improve your life. This is your life we're talking about. I believe we choose everything that happens to us, and sometimes we choose to lose, sometimes we choose to be damaged, be hurt, but this is there to teach us something. And if we don't learn the lesson, it will keep happening. Even if not in this life, maybe it will happen in the next life. I see often people that are in apathy seem somehow protected by the world. It seems as they're too weak perhaps for the world to throw more challenging things towards them. But at some point they will have to face it. Sometimes people go their whole lives without suffering, and at the end they get those horrible sicknesses that make them suffer so much at the end that sometimes it even awakens them, but sometimes it doesn't, and then they repeat the cycle in the next life when life will throw again very difficult obstacles their way, and it's up to them to either transmute it and go forward or not and repeat it again. And sometimes it's worth to take that step even if the risk is to lose, and even losing, because if you can't take a loss with grace, then you won't take a win with grace either. You can read all about it, but the most successful people were created by the biggest hardships. So sometimes it's life throws it our way to shape us, to mold us into those strong human beings. You can often see kids that were pampered their whole childhood and never struggled with anything. Then they go into the adult life and they're just clashed with all these problems that they don't know how to solve, and they don't know how to deal with them. So they end up, if they don't have the family anymore, for example, they end up on the streets or addicted or in those horrible situations. So often I'm even grateful for the difficult childhood that I had, because now I'm so strong and I can withstand so many things. And you can see that apathy is energetically very close to non-existence. So you're literally like on the border of existence. So when rough times come, people either shrink or expand. And if you expand, you evolve. And if you shrink, you go into apathy or even lower states that are very close to non-existence. So something that a lot of people in apathy do is they would distract themselves. And the point is to stop this, to stop distracting yourself, to stop using all those mediums like television, food, addictions, other people, relationships, going out, drinking. Stop distracting yourself, because those things will come at some point. They will hit you when you least expect it. So when you are starting to distract yourself, it's so important to notice that, to literally stop your hand and look within. Look at why are you doing this even. If you feel there's such strong emotions in you that you can't handle it, and you feel such a deep need to go and distract yourself and put your mind somewhere else, just stop. Stop and notice it. And start sitting with your emotions. Start noticing them. Start naming them. What am I feeling right now? What in this situation triggered me? What was so unbearable? What did this person say to me? Why did they say this? And then you will start creating this space between the emotion, the thought, and you. Because you are not your emotions, you are not your thoughts. But you do need those emotions, and you need to be connected to them to transform from this apathy, to evolve from it. So with apathy, anger is your best friend. The next step is to get angry. Get really in touch with your anger, with things that are unfair to you, that happen to you, and you feel angry because of them, but you are suppressing this emotion because you think it's bad. No, it's not bad. It's okay to feel angry at things. It's okay to feel angry that there were some injustice in your life, and now you have all this energy in you that you are bottling up, and thus you are caving and you're hiding. But you should express it, you should open it. So get angry, get frustrated. And I'm not saying you now need to lash out on people like crazy. I'm just saying get in touch with those feelings. And if you're angry, go do something to express it. Create something angry. Create angry art. Scream into your pillow. Throw something. There's those anger rooms where you can just destroy everything and release those emotions. So maybe try some of this. Go to a shooting range. Go to martial arts perhaps. Just get this energy going. Get into motion. It's also good to feel where in your body you feel these emotions. If you feel angry, if you feel scared, where is this emotion? Where is this anger and this fear? Is it in your heart? Is it in your brain? Maybe you're clenching your jaw or your shoulders are tight. Just see, notice where it's happening in your body. So basically the whole problem is about inaction. And the next thing you need to do is set goals. Set goals because this allows you to start making decisions, to start taking responsibility for your life. So set, for example, one goal that you want to achieve in the next few years. It can be doing your driver's license, reading 100 books, anything like this. Literally something that you would enjoy doing and you want to do. Start making small progress every day towards this goal. It doesn't have to be anything crazy. If you want to get fit, then every day make one healthy meal, or every day cut out, for example, eating cake, or replace it with something healthy. Another thing that I would recommend is finding out who you are. A lot of people that are in apathy struggle with their identity. They don't know who they are, they don't know what they like, what they don't like, where their boundaries are. And I think it's very important to find out where you stand, who you are, what's your character, where you say stop. So you can even use some shadow work prompts. There's tons of them on the internet, and just determine things like what you like, what you don't like, what is attractive to you, what is a boundary that you don't want crossed ever by anyone. Another thing is start looking for positives in this world. Apathy focuses a lot on negatives and on the fact that life is hopeless, that you can't achieve anything, that everything will turn out bad. And so the point is to switch this narrative from negative to positive, to start focusing on those good things. So for example, that there's good weather, that there's nice people in the store today, that you get delicious food. Gratitude for things is also crucial. That you have a roof over your head, that you have food on your plate, that you have money on your bank account, that you have family, friends. All those things are such blessings. And if apathy is so deeply programmed into your subconscious, then I would recommend something that I call self-brainwashing. Essentially, it means, for example, listening to subliminals. There's tons of those on YouTube. Or listening to affirmations, affirmation meditations, even repeating those affirmations every evening in front of the mirror, telling yourself all those positive things about yourself until you believe it. Because repeated statements get engraved into our brain as truth. So you need to convince yourself that you are those things, and then you will become those things. So literally fake it till you make it. Also practice mindfulness, start meditating, start moving your body. This also is an action that literally puts energy in your body into movement, which is also very beneficial. And don't be cruel to yourself, don't judge yourself, because that's what apathy loves. You saying negative things about yourself feeds the apathy. So avoid this at all costs, and if a negative thought pops up in your head, immediately replace it with something positive. So for example, you're looking at the mirror and you think, I look so bad today. Immediately stop yourself, observe it, and replace it. For example, say, my skin doesn't have pimples today, or I will dress into something nice today. And the last thing I recommend doing is educating yourself as much as possible on various topics, because knowledge truly is power. This will give you a lot of confidence to talk to other people about various things, and it will also help you move from the apathy, because confidence is also such a strong energy. So yeah guys, I feel so charged with positive energy. I just wanted to get this information out there. Perhaps it will help some of you. Maybe you can also tell me what you think about this. I know it's not easy to navigate in this world as someone that perhaps has a different level of consciousness than others. I wanted to use this fiery energy that I have right now to maybe speak to some of you, to maybe motivate some of you. So I hope this helped, and here you again, hopefully.